You probably noticed everyone suddenly has an opinion about the Dallas real estate market. Some say prices are about to drop, while others insist you should wait for rates to fall. And then there are people quietly scooping up homes and investment properties while everyone else hesitates. So what's the truth? Is now actually a good time to buy or invest in Dallas real estate, or should you wait? I'm Selden Toole, and I'm a real estate agent here in Dallas. And I've been helping clients buy, sell, and invest all across the Metroplex for over a decade. And in this video, I'm going to give you a clear, realistic look at what's happening right now in the Dallas market, so you can decide what makes sense for you. Here's the short version. If you're trying to perfectly time the bottom, you'll probably miss it. But if you're buying for the next 3+ years in most parts of Dallas, this is one of the most flexible buyer environments we've seen in a while. Let's break down why. There's no perfect time, just different opportunities. A big misconception is that there's a perfect time to buy. The truth is, there isn't. There's only different kinds of opportunities. When interest rates are low, prices usually skyrocket and competition is brutal. When rates rise, prices level off and buyers get negotiating power back. Right now, we're in that second phase. The frenzy of 2021 and early 22 is over. What we have now is not a crash, it's more of a strategic, selective market. And that's exactly the kind of market where smart, prepared buyers win. And one important thing to understand, Dallas is not the national market. What's happening in Phoenix or Los Angeles isn't necessarily happening here. Dallas has its own economy, its own growth drivers, and its own rhythm. So what's actually happening in Dallas right now, the DFW Metroplex is still one of the strongest housing markets in the country. Corporate relocations are still coming in. Major employers like Toyota, Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab, they brought in thousands of high-income jobs here, and that's not reversing. Population growth is steady. Demand for housing, both rentals and ownership, remains strong. So while some areas are adjusting, we're not seeing a collapse. We're seeing normalization after years of extreme acceleration. So here's what that looks like on the ground. Across much of Dallas County, prices have held fairly steady, but appreciation has flattened. In the higher-end suburbs like Frisco, Saline, and Prosper, inventory has finally caught up a bit, so buyers have some more options and leverage. Inside Dallas proper, places like Lakewood, the M Streets, parts of Park Cities, supply is still pretty tight. So there just aren't enough homes to go around. And as long as inventory stays low, prices stay supported. So now is a good time to buy. I guess that really depends on what you're optimizing for. So if your goal is to absolutely nail the lowest possible price, you may be waiting forever. But if your goal is to build wealth over time, the opportunity is right now. Because when everybody else is waiting, leverage quietly shifts back to buyers. During the boom, buyers were competing with 10 to 20 offers per home. No contingencies, appraisal waivers, paying way over asking. Now, in many parts of Dallas, you can negotiate again. You can take time with inspections. You can ask for closing costs or rate buydowns. You can actually make smart, calculated moves instead of emotional ones. And now let's talk about the elephant in the room, interest rates. Yeah, rates are higher than they've been in the last few years, and that does impact affordability. But here's the flip side. If rates drop even 1 point in the next year, competition will come roaring back. Every buyer who's been sitting on the sidelines will jump in at once, and suddenly you're back in multiple offers in the same homes that are sitting today. You can always refinance later when rates improve, but what you can't do is go back in time and buy the same home for a price that's less once competition picks back up again. So when rates go down, demand goes up. When demand goes up, prices usually follow. So if you find the right home now and it fits your long-term goals, waiting can actually cost you more, not less. Now, if you're an investor, the calculus is a little bit different, but Dallas still looks very attractive long-term. We've got strong job growth, consistent in-migration, and a diverse economy. That tends to mean stable rents and steady appreciation over time. Yes, cash flow margins are tighter with higher rates, but serious investors are looking 5, 10, 15 years out. They know that every major company moving here brings more renters and buyers. Land inside Dallas is limited. The population isn't shrinking anytime soon, so the strategy has shifted. Instead of chasing quick flips, more investors are focusing on long-term holds, duplexes, townhomes, or older homes in transitional neighborhoods like East Dallas, Oak Cliff, or Richardson, where they can renovate and hold. Others are buying new construction in places like Frisco or McKinney, where builders are quietly offering incentives that help offset higher financing costs. And smart investors don't wait for the market to be easy. They adapt to the market that actually exists. So if you're a first-time home buyer, I get that it's intimidating right now. Rates, headlines, uncertainty, it's a lot. But renting isn't getting any cheaper either. In Dallas, rents have gone up most years over the past decade, and there's nothing right now signaling a big reversal. So when you rent, you're paying your landlord's mortgage, not your own. Buying your first home is more than the short-term math, it's the long-term stability. You're locking in a payment instead of hoping your rent doesn't jump. You're building equity instead of funding someone else's. In a market like Dallas, that equity has a history of growing faster than most people expect. So should you wait it out? Here's how I usually break it down. If you're planning to stay in a home less than 2 years, waiting might make sense. Transaction costs alone can eat into short-term gains. And if you're planning to stay 3 years or longer, buying now often wins in Dallas, especially when you factor in both prices and rents tend to trend upwards. For investors, timing is less about market being perfect and more about your financing and reserves. There's always deals, but the best ones often go to people who are prepared and can move quickly. The market doesn't reward indecision, it rewards preparation and action. In Lakewood, M Streets, all over East Dallas, homes under $1 million are still seeing steady movement, especially when they're well presented and priced realistically. In Frisco, Prosper, builders are offering rated buydowns, design credits, and closing cost incentives, so you know where to look and how to ask. In the Park Cities and Preston Hollow, demand for well-located properties is still strong, even at higher price points because inventory is limited and lifestyle driven. The opportunities just look different in each pocket of Dallas, but they're there. What's holding most people back right now isn't the market, it's the noise. Headlines will keep predicting crashes, rebounds, once-in-a-lifetime moments. The reality is somewhere in the middle. Real estate moves in waves, and the people who win are the ones who ride the waves with strategy, not fear. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Don't let fear or headlines make your decision for you. Dallas still has strong fundamentals, jobs, population growth, and housing demand. If you're thinking of buying or investing here, this could quietly be your moment. When competition is lighter, sellers are more flexible, and you can negotiate deals that just weren't possible when everyone was fighting over the same property. And my name is Selden Toole. I'm a Dallas real estate agent. I work all across Lakewood, the Park Cities, all over East Dallas, Frisco, Plano, everywhere in between. If you're wondering whether now is the right time for you, call or text me. No pressure, no sales pitch, just an honest conversation about your goals, your timeline, and what makes sense in your neighborhoods you care about. The best time to make a move is when you're ready, and the smartest way to do it is with someone who actually understands this market on the ground.